What's up YouTube, this is Groudon Empire and I am here for another episode of my Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Rating Battle Spot Single Laddering Series, where I take on the online ladder in singles, which is 3 versus 3, and as an experienced player that got 1900s plus in X and Y, my goal in this series is to provide high level commentary and gameplay for all of us to benefit from and to become better players. If you are hyped and you like this video, please remember to click that like button, as it really shows the support for this channel, and I hope you guys enjoy what you're watching. We are back with another laddering session, and I'm using the same team, as you guys can see, as the last episode. If you did not watch it, definitely check it out. I am going to spoil it basically right now because I have to talk about it, as this is a continual thing. I'm using the same team and we're growing upon every episode. Last one, I lost that game. It was I basically doubted my initial plan, and you know, just like you learn in multiple choice tests, you don't want to doubt the first answer you think of, especially if you know your stuff. Like, I know my stuff, so I don't need to doubt it. But I did that, and it cost me the game. If I had picked the Garchomp lead and the Blaziken and Zapdos, I would have been victorious. And you know, Klefki's annoying, so I think sometimes I have to make the gamble and I just have to pick the team, you know, regardless of the Klefki being there, and I have a Kangaskhan. It's whatever. But yeah, we look at my opponent's team. I want to just make sure I get their team down. And I got their team. Alright, so we look at my opponent's team and we see they have... The first thing I want to do is see if Stealth Rock would be handy. Now, when I look at their team, I see Stealth Rock can in fact be very handy, and Garchomp is the best lead regardless of what my opponent wants to lead with. Because if it's a Salaman's lead, I can just Rock Tomb it so it can't Dragon Dance. I mean, it can Dragon Dance, but its speed is going to stay at the same. And, well, I mean, it doesn't matter because I don't have Greninja, but still, it's useful. Okay, it's not really useful to be... because of my team, it's not really useful, but it's whatever, it's fine. Well, it's not too fine, but man, I don't know how to explain. Whatever. Garchomp is just the best lead, so I'm going to pick Garchomp. If I can set up rocks, I can actually do a lot of work with Blaziken, as I can take down the Venusaur, I can take down Garchomp, I can take down T-Tar and Skarmory. But, and you know what? This is definitely a Blaziken Zapdos team that I can, well, a game I can bring Blaziken and Zapdos in, so there's no need to do anything crazy. I can just pick Zapdos and Blaziken, and we're in good shape. Kangaskhan definitely comes in nice. It can Flamethrower and Ice Beam the Dragons and the Skarmory, but the reason I don't want to use Kangaskhan is because Kangaskhan is specifically for defensive threats, and if there are a lot of offensive threats out there, it becomes it's not so friendly, alright? So Kangaskhan, last game, you know, if that was a defensive Rotom, I would actually be in a lot better shape, but it wasn't. So, you know, we ended up dying with, you know, the health that wasn't all that great. Usually, you know, Kangaskhan, you know, the one that I run is so bulky, you don't have to worry about any of that kind of stuff, but that game was whatever. Anyways, right now I'm going to start off with the Stealth Rock because it's going to help break the, he's going to go out into Skarmory, I'm assuming. Yeah, that's a Skarmory. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go for Rock Tombs again and again. Because, I mean, Earthquake, I can't Earthquake it because it's flying. And Rock Tomb doesn't make contact. And it's, you know, Outrage does the most, oh my goodness. Outrage does the most damage because it's 180 and then it's halved to 90, which is more damage than Rock Tomb. But he's probably going to have Rocky Helmet, and he's probably... You know, he's going to have, like, he's going to roost up. He has Rocky Helmet. I'm going to get confused. And it's not a good time. So, that is why I have opted to actually just keep on Rock Tombing. Because I'm pretty sure I can come in on this thing. And I can just... Wow. Oh my goodness, I might be in trouble. Oh my goodness, I might be in trouble. Okay, so I'm just going to switch out into Zapdos. He has Iron Defense. I am going to be in trouble. I cannot kill this thing with the Flare Blitz now because of Iron Defense. I'm going to switch out right away into my Zapdos, is it? Yeah, Zapdos, and I'm going to this Thunderbolt. I'm not even going to Heat Wave, I'm just going to Thunderbolt. Hopefully it doesn't Roost. He roosts up, so that's very annoying because he can just Toxic me and it's extremely annoying. But I'm just going to go for a Heat Wave because if he decides to switch out into Venusaur, he's going to take some effective damage. So be my guest, be my guest. So I'm going to go for a Heat Wave. Hopefully it doesn't miss. And hopefully he switches out into the Venusaur. That would be great. That's a Venusaur. I know how a Venusaur looks. And this is going to do a good amount of damage. Hopefully. I hope it doesn't miss. It doesn't miss. Good job, Zapdos, for not missing. And it doesn't even do half, so that sucks. And I don't get the burn either, so that really sucks. There's literally no other way to put it. That just sucks. I can potentially burn this thing, and that would be helpful. But I need Zapdos. Well, I don't need Zapdos alive. I mean, if there is a Salamence in the back, there is no Salamence because this is definitely a Mega Venusaur. So there's no Mega Salamence in the back. I don't have to worry too much about that. So I can just Heat Wave, hopefully get a burn onto this burn onto this thing. And if I don't get the burn, that's fine too. I just want to do damage and eventually get the burn. You know, I can Roost up versus it, and I can eventually get a burn. And it's this Pokemon, man. I tell you. So I may not get the burn. That's understandable. That's fine. But if I do Heat Wave enough, eventually I'll get the burn. And this is a bulky Pokemon, so Hacks is definitely more of a thing. So things like secondary effects are more likely to happen versus bulky Pokemon that recover all the time and set up and all of that stuff. So, see? Okay, so I got the burn, and that's... I get put to sleep. That sucks a lot. I'm not even gonna lie. That sucks so much. Synthesis, Sleep Powder, and Stab. So basically at this point, I can just Roost up. I'm gonna Roost up to maximum health. I'll see what he's gonna do. I'm gonna Roost up to maximum health after he attacks me with all of his moves. He's gonna Synthesis, that's fine. He used 2 Synthesis. He has 6 more. That's alright, I'm fine with that. I'm just going to... I don't have to Roost actually, I can just Heat Wave does the most damage. Because it does 100 damage. No, it does 95 damage and then that's halved. No. It does 95 times 2, which is 190. Yeah, 190. And then divide that by 2. Okay, alright. So it does 95 damage. Thunderbolt does 135 divided by 2. So I'm just going to keep on running with Heat Waves until I wake up. And once I wake up, I'm going to go for a Roost. Alright, so and when I say Roost, I mean once I wake up and I have health. I mean, I lost health. Knockoff! Alright, that's interesting. He got a crit that doesn't matter at all, but that is interesting. That is very, very interesting. I can go for... No. What am I doing? I'm just going to keep on going for Heat Waves. He has Knockoff, Sleep Powder, Synthesis, and I'm assuming Leech Seed. Or Giga Drain? I don't know anymore. He has to go for Synthesis. It's a good thing I got that burn. And this game, you know, sometimes I'm going to run into bulky Pokemon, and you have to be able to deal with them, right? I'm just going to keep on going for the Heat Waves. I don't want to lose Heat Wave PP though, even though I only really need it for Venusaur. He's probably going to Synthesis. Nope, he's going to Sleep Powder. Alright. So he lost 3 Synthesis already. And we know he has Sleep Powder, so that's very important to keep in mind. I'm just going to Roost up. I mean, I know... I don't... Because the first turn is guaranteed sleep, so it doesn't matter. But I'm Roosting up because, just in case. I mean, I'm not going to wake up. I know that. The way sleep works in 6th generation is that if you get put to sleep, the first turn, you have guaranteed sleep. So if I was a slower Pokemon, and it said that my Zapdos is sleeping, then that is the first turn of sleep. All right. So the next turn I could potentially wake up, but first turn, like if I'm faster, then the next turn is going to be my guaranteed turn of sleep. So that's why I didn't do anything. That's why I went for the roost. I mean, it didn't matter. That's why it didn't matter what I was going to go for. Anyways, this turn I can potentially wake up, so I'm going to go for a Heat Wave just in case I wake up. And if I don't wake up, next turn I'm just going to go for a Roost. Hopefully he doesn't have Sludge Bomb. He does have Sludge Bomb, so that might do massive amount of damage. I know my math correctly. That did a lot of damage. I'm just going to go for a Roost. Hopefully he doesn't get a crit. If I don't wake up and he doesn't get a crit, okay, I wake up, so that's great. I was gonna say, if I don't wake up and my opponent gets a crit, then I basically lost Zapdos and I potentially lost the game at that point. But right now, if he gets a poison, I am doomed. Okay, well, okay, I'm not completely doomed. I have the advantage because now I'm immune to sleep. I can just keep on. And keep on roosting on him. He already used Synthesis, I believe, 4 times? Yeah, he used it 4 times, so he only has 4 more Synthesis left. I can roost right now, and hopefully he goes for a 5th Synthesis. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. I don't know what's going to happen. Okay, so that's his 5th Synthesis. And next turn, I can go for a Heat Wave. And even if he gets a crit on the Sludge Bomb, he's not going to KO me. And then I can go for a Roost next turn. I just hope he doesn't have Tyranitar, otherwise my entire life is finished. That would be terrible. I'm going to go for a Heat Wave. It does the most damage. Arguably, it's not... Okay, he's going to switch out into Rotom, I assume, because I think that would be... Alright, so he does have the Rotom. He reveals the Rotom. That's not a Pokemon I wish he had. If he does get burned, though, that would be sweet. That would be real sweet. Not gonna lie about that. Not a single bit at all. Next turn, I'm just gonna switch out into Garchomp. Yeah, I was gonna save Garchomp for Venusaur, but I mean there is that. If I can just whittle down this thing in front of my face, I will be in such fantastic shape. Such fantastic shape. Cannot lie about that. He can go for a Hydro Pump if he wants, but judging from that Heat Wave damage, I'm assuming this is an offensive variant. I might be risking it if I go out into my Zapdos, but you know what? I'm going to go out into Zapdos anyway, because he might switch out into Skarmory, Raw Switch. He's probably Specs, because you don't run Volt Switch. Yeah, you don't run Volt Switch on Rotom unless you're choiced. Because you typically run Will-O-Wisp, Thunderbolt, Hydro Pump, and either Hidden Power something, or Thunder Wave, or Toxic, or Citrus Berry, or even, not Citrus Berry, Rest, or Pain Split, or even Protect, or whatever. But your 4th move is typically, like if you're using a... Anyways, right now I'm going to go for a nice and clean Thunderbolt, because I have no reason not to. If he switches out into Venusaur, that's fine. If he switches out into Rotom Wash, I get a good amount of damage on. He doesn't switch out into the Rotom Wash. So that is a bit unfortunate, but that's alright. That's alright. Alright, so if he goes for a Sludge Bomb, I'm basically dead at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go for a Roost. He has to go for his 6th Synthesis, I believe. Yeah, his 6th Synthesis. Okay, so this is his 6th Synthesis. And if I counted it wrong and I end up losing, oh, whatever. I hope this is the 6th. I'm pretty sure it's the 6th. Anyways, I hope you guys stayed for this battle so far, and that my commentary really helped you understand what's going on with all these turns, and it really kept you active throughout this battle. Yeah, so right now I'm going to go for Thunderbolt, because he might switch out into Rotom. Okay, he's not. That's fine too. That is fine too. That did, yeah, I need to just roost up. I just need to roost up. Blaziken can win me the game. I just need to make sure Rotom has enough damage taken. So I'm just going to roost up right now. He has 7 and 8. So he only has 2 more PP left with the with Synthesis. So it's nice to know. It's nice to know. I can basically keep on roosting him. And, you know, I didn't lose 3 Pokemon. And there's still 18 minutes left, so I don't have to worry about being timer stalled or anything. I'm still in great shape. Well, not in fantastic shape, but I'm in great shape. Because, you know, I can always just go out into Blaziken and just destroy things. And I got Rocks up, so that doesn't help him switching out into Rotom again and again, right? And I'm really just going to keep on... That did, I believe, 70... No, that did 82 damage. No, that did 72. That did 82 damage. So I definitely need to roost up. As he goes for his 7th Synthesis. And I'm really hoping I kept the number count correct. Because that would be terrible if the number count... Okay, so this is his 7th. His 7th Synthesis. So he only has 1 more left. Unfortunately... moves like Moonlight and Synthesis that don't target the opponent are not affected by pressure. I always thought they were, but they actually aren't. So that's unfortunate. This turn, I'm not going to go for a Roost. I'm just going to go straight up for a Thunderbolt. Predicting my opponent to switch out into Rotom. Okay, so my opponent's not going to switch out into Rotom. The reason I went for Thunderbolt is because, you know, it doesn't... What's he doing? Hello? What was that? Alright, so... next turn I can go for a Heat Wave now. Now the reason I didn't go for a Thunderbolt last turn, and I missed... Yeah, so... I don't know if he ran out of Sludge Bomb PP, I really can't tell. But I'm at 102 health, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to Roost up. Because I do have pressure, so his Sludge Bomb is definitely affected by pressure. So that's the thing. He probably ran out of Sludge Bomb PP. I wasn't counting his PP, so I don't know. And he has 1 more Synthesis. That is his last Synthesis, if I counted correctly. And I really, really hope I counted that correctly. But yeah, the whole reason I go for Thunderbolt is because it does, you know, 67 damage, whereas Heat Wave does 95. It's not that big of a difference because it really doesn't do too much damage anyway. And I don't want to miss Heat Waves, you know. That's why I just go for Thunderbolt. And also, he can any of the turns he can switch out into Rotom Wash. And Thunderbolt does the most damage to that. And it doesn't really make that much of a difference between Heat Wave and Thunderbolt on Venusaur. And it's both super effective on Skarmory anyway. That's why I keep on going for Thunderbolt. So right now, I'm going to go for Thunderbolt. I don't want to give my opponent any chances to switch out into Rotom for free. Because Heat Wave, you know, it's basically a free switch. And that's not a fun time. Every time I'm at 120 or less HP, I'm going to end up roosting. Because I'm pretty sure a Sludge Bomb plus the poison damage will take me out. And even if it doesn't, a critical hit Sludge Bomb might take me out. So if I'm over 120, I might Heat Wave. But if I'm 120 or less, I'm going to definitely roost up every single time. Every single time. So yeah, so right now I'm just going to keep on roosting up. I really have no reason not to. And I still think my opponent has a Synthesis left. I really don't remember correctly. And I have no reason to take any risks. Alright? You know, if you guys did a better job... Like, I'm commentating, so I can't just take 10 million sheets of paper and whatnot and write things down. How many turns of Sludge Bomb are gone due to pressure and everything. I can't do that. I really think my opponent doesn't have any more Synthesis left. I think I counted it correctly. But... again, I want to make sure Zapdos is as healthy as possible so I can take down the Rotom, like do as much damage as possible to Rotom so Blaziken can just high jump kick it and I don't have to worry about anything. And yeah, so as I did assume, he is definitely out of Synthesis. And this turn, I'm just going to go for a nice and... Should I go for a Thunderbolt? I'm going to go for a Heat Wave, guys, because it does the most damage. And I didn't want to risk Thunderbolt. So that turn, I went for a Heat Wave because he's in Heat Wave range. And I was like, you know what? He's not going to die to a bird. Not at that range. So if he does Synthesis up, that's fine. I can just roost up again. And if he attacks me, I'll just roost. I'll just keep on roosting. It's fine. And hopefully I'll have enough health to take on the Rotom. So right now, my objective right now is to just make sure I can Thunderbolt the Rotom. And I'll be in great shape. If I Thunderbolt the Rotom, it's going to be in range. He's going to trick me. Toy Specs or Toy Scarf? One of those two. I think it's a Toy Scarf. Toy Specs? Well, you're done. You're done now. I think that was my opponent's best move. Because he had to make sure that I wasn't going to start Thunderbolting. Because then I would have to be forced to switch out into Garchomp, and... honestly speaking, my opponent lost the moment they lost the Mega Venusaur, so, you know, you can use bulky Pokemon, but if your opponent has something that's really nice, like a Zapdos that I have, nothing matters. So I think my opponent's going to forfeit or just let the last turn play out. So that was a nice and long 18-minute game, but I hope you guys understood the importance behind every move I was making. And I hope the commentary really kept you active in this battle, in this episode. I hope that the commentary really helped explain the moves that I was making and the moves that my opponent was making. And I really hope that this helps you out become a better player and deal with bulky teams like that better and more effectively, so you can consistently win versus them. Because, you know, better bulky Pokemon users, they are going to be a lot more challenging. But even a player like the one I just faced, you know, if you don't know how to face them correctly, you're going to end up losing. You know, if you're going to be impatient, you have to be patient versus these really bulky Pokemon. So that's how I just ended up winning versus my opponent, using patience. You know, I didn't get overzealous and go for Heat Waves when I could just go for Thunderbolts. You know, any kind of damage, you know, is just nice damage versus bulky Pokemon. You don't need to worry too much about super effective hits, especially if they don't do a massive amount of damage. You just want to get damage off, so they're forced to recover. And I just hope you guys definitely learn from this and definitely take something beneficial from this. Anyways, I'm going to use the same team for the next episode as well. You know, every time I lose, I analyze the footage, and if I think I should change my team, I change it, and if I don't think I should change it, I use the same team. And I want to keep on doing this until I hopefully reach 2,000. So hope you guys stay tuned for that, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Remember to click that like button and share this video with all of your people, especially if you enjoyed this and you want this channel to grow. This was Groudon Empire. Peace out.